Yo, what up YouTube? What up URL fans? I'm continuing the review. This is round 2, HOffa versus Arsonal. HOffa begins, and he spits a crazy round. And he starts off crazy. He has this alien scheme that's dope. He's like, I'm out of this world, I spit acid. I bite through your head, then I'll dismember you. Welcome to a segment of Alien vs. Predator. And of course Arsonal's the Predator because he's got the dreadhead thing going on. And then he was like, if you actually had bars, you would be a legend. Despite so many defeats, you and Rex are very unique. At least when Rex raps, you get the feeling for the street. You'll be threatening niggas with the video game weapons and beef. I mean SpongeBob, Ninja Turtles. I think my brain would explode if you said something deep. That shit was dope. Like all that, the whole scheme was dope. And then he asked him, I got a question. Could you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And then the crowd goes nuts, and then he goes Loaded Lux on. He goes, he gonna get this work. He started doing that during the battle. It's hilarious. That was hilarious. And then he calls him like a Sambo ass. So because he was like, yo, the only reason other leagues book you is because you dance around and you're black. Sambo ass. That shit was funny. Rich Dollar's ABC scheme. He talks about that they both had an ABC scheme apparently, and he was like, "Yo, Rich Dollars is better than you," but they both stole from Papoose, so that's how they're like, that's how much they like New York style, cause Rich Dollars and Papoose both from New York, right? So that was decent, and then he did a crazy slow it down. He did crazy slow it down, and like he kind of he did it in a way where he did slow it down, but then he did one, so. It was weird. It was like when you slow it down, you biting, everybody can see it. Slow it down, you biting. Is everybody conceited? Like that shit was dope too, man. Like he brought a really sick round in round 2, and then after when Arsonal kind of went overtime in the first round, he went like seriously like 5-6 minute round. Like it was serious. And then he brought Dose again. Which he usually does, and then, you know, he was talking about how he is with the Dot Mob, considering the whole Mook thing, and you know, he said him and K Shine were cool, and you know, you guys only bring me up in raps because of my beef and shit, and it was decent. And then he clarified how Murder Mook said he got jumped at Summer Madness, and then he elaborates on that shit. Well, he was like, yeah, that was a fact. I got jumped by cops in Harlem, and they had to scrap. And he was like, well, you know, that pretty much happened because I was black. And he was waiting for someone on the yak. Like, it was good. And then he had a sick line where it was like, why don't you stop the lying shit and come at him with real bars? Trying to kill Mufasa with what you heard. I guess you feel scarred. Like again with the Lion King bar, but it was good. And then he ended off with like, "I'll turn you into Loaded Lux, leave him choking on a Harlem hospital bed." And then you know he finished off with a slogan. You got bars are type whack, you know. In the next round, I'm bringing bars right back. It was a solid round, and Arsonal went on like, and Arsonal brought a serious round too. This is the thing. This to me is the most debatable round. Because Arsonal then goes on and he questions how Math slapped Tone Trump because there was no footage, and then Math's like, well, you know, Tone Trump paid me $4,500 so the footage wouldn't come out. That was just funny. But then he was like, you a coulda, woulda, shoulda nigga who pistol whipped Mook when a real gangster would have pulled the trigger. So he's questioning Math's G, which is like, you know, not too many battle rappers do that, so it's interesting. And it was like, oh, his Calico must have jammed. Or was it loaded up? Then you should have borrowed the iron from Solomon, and nigga then loaded Lux with one of them Charlie clips. That's how a burner shoot. Instead of giving them FaceTime, you should have let your case shine. That's how you murder Mook. Like that was a dope flip on like Summer Madness rappers. That was a dope flip. And then he goes in on Norms again, which is hilarious. He does that in every round. He goes in on Norms. That shit's just funny to me. And then he was like, no snitching in my hood. One pop will feel worse than a lung shot from Ong Bak. Like again, like, you know, these short, quick punchlines that are solid. And the way he says something like, "I'm good with numbers. That's why I used to sleep in math." And then the crowd goes off on him. Like they just start to interrupt and shit. Like I didn't. That was really uncalled for. But then he had some, you know, kind of mediocre lines. He said some shit like, "I'll put bullets in your spirit. That's what I call a Holy Ghost." I don't know about that. But he had this scheme where, like, Math would swing his right hand and Arsonal would duck. And Math would swing his other hand, Arsonal would duck. And then Arsonal was like, "I'm starting to think you're from Detroit. You swing both. You will Michigan." And then he was like, you got to bring the judges from the Pacquiao Bradley fight, because that's the only way you'll get the win. Like that was decent, yo. Again, boxing lines, yo. I like boxing lines. Although I thought Bradley won that fight. But you know, Arsonal had a serious round. Like he's bringing up, like, you know, serious bars, and he was like, "Yo, I'll put hands on hands. I'll lock D in a chamber. I'll break Math in two halves until there's no remainder. I'll put a hollow in Cortez, because to us he's still a stranger. I'll CSI the whole NYB and put all your DNA in a container." So he had a good scheme about all of NYB. It was serious flips, and then he went in on like a clothing line flip that was decent, and that was about it for the round. So solid round for Arsonal, solid round for Math. I don't know. In my opinion, this is the most debatable round. This was the most debatable round in terms of real shit. Like I give Math a little more credit for calling out Arsonal on, like, you know, threatening niggas with weapons from video games, or like, you know, bringing up shit like SpongeBob's clarinet, like, because he did that in the third too, and I thought that was a little more real. And then he addressed the whole situation where he got jumped by cops. Like, I kind of want to edge it to Math, but I can see it both ways. This is a tough round to call, but at the end of the day, Arsonal did have the better flips, and he had better punchlines. So you got Math schemes versus Arsonal's punchlines, and it's a tough call. Right now, I'm kind of feeling like Arsonal had the better material with the flips and all, but Math had some crazy schemes. He had to slow it down, and this is a tough one to call. I'm starting to edge it towards Arsonal, but let me know what you guys think. Who do you think won round 2 of this battle? I'm leaning towards Arsonal, but it's a tough one. To me, this is the most debatable round. Anyways, it is what it is. Peace out, take care.